Hey everybody, it's Christine from the Gospel Method, and tonight we're going to be going live. We haven't done this in a long time. Those of you who've been with the channel for a while remember the first 2 years we went live every Friday, and I would do the piano lessons for beginners starting from the very beginning. Well, it's summertime, and full disclosure, we are in the middle of a very busy season of life. And I don't want to edit YouTube videos. So we're going to go live. We're going to have some fun over the summer, and we're going to talk about some things. We're going to look at some handouts, and we're going to take your lessons to the next level so that you're not stuck where you are. Okay? So on this channel, we do church music. We talk about gospel music. We do new music, old music, all kinds of fun stuff. And tonight, what I thought we could do is take a look at a hard song and simplify it. So if you come across something on YouTube, or yeah, I guess so, YouTube, or if you just Google the chord chart to a song, sometimes you're going to come up with something that looks like this. And you might not know what some of these chords are. So we're going to talk about how to figure out which ones are necessary and how to get rid of the ones that aren't. All right? So this song is called What a Beautiful Name It Is. This is one of my renditions over on the premium membership. We do have a paid membership at thegospelmethod.com, and this is for the intermediate students. And so it's got some major 7 chords, it's got some minor 7 chords, it's got sus chords, majors slash chords, diminished chords, it's got all kinds of stuff. And it sounds beautiful. So I'm going to play it for you a little bit so you can hear all the goodies. But then we're going to break it down and get rid of some stuff. And if you're a beginner, show you what to do with it. Because it's like, well, if it's too hard, can I just throw it in the garbage? Or what should I do with it? No, we're going to show you how to simplify it. But it's going to sound like this. You were the Word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. Alright, so lots of doodads. I added some fills, all kinds of good stuff. Which, if you want to know how to do that stuff, head over to the premium membership. We can take you to the next level. But let's assume that we're not. Okay? And so we're going to simplify this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. Now, there's 3 types of chords. And I've created something in my classes called the baked potato method. And if I've heard it from somewhere else, forgive me. But we've been talking about food, and so we came up with this potato thing. So if you make a baked potato, you can make it all different ways. You need a potato, okay? You can't have a baked potato without a potato. But you have the option to add toppings to it. So you could add butter or you could add chives, all right? And so the way I explain it to my students is that basically potatoes are your major, minor, diminished, and augmented chords. That's your 3-note chords, major, minor, diminished, and augmented, which we'll go over in a second. And then if you want to add things like a 7 or a 9 or an 11 or any of those things that come after that, I call that the butter. Okay, you can add it, but you don't have to. Okay, you could have the plain potato, but it makes it taste a little better, gives a little more pizzazz, right? And then the third level is if you come across, and this doesn't have it, but if you come across something that has like sharp 5, flat 9, so it could be like C7, sharp 5, okay? So it keeps getting longer and longer. I call those the chives. That's even a little extra spice on top, but again, you don't need it, okay? It's nice if you want to add it, but you don't have to, and it's up to taste. Some people like them and some people don't. So what I'm going to teach you today is we're going to look at this, and we're going to find the potatoes, and we're going to get rid of everything else, and then as you learn those skills, you can add those back in. All right, so we have C, MAJ7 starting here on verse 1. So let's look at that one. the MAJ7, if you see this, this is a type of 7th chord. Okay, so the 7th chord is going to add an extra note to your 3-note chord. So if you're trying to find a potato, you don't need it. So what we're going to do is we are going to, let me get a nice red one here. We're going to cross it out. All right, so it's basically a fancy 7th chord. And so what we're left with is C. So instead of playing C major 7, we can just play C. All right, so C major. So that's, oh, and I told you we were going to talk about the potatoes. Let me write them down so I don't forget. So we need major, minor, diminished, and augmented. Okay, so as we come across those, I'll show you, but those are the potatoes. You can't get rid of that. Okay, so when we see that, but everything else we can. So C, MAJ7, you may be like, well, isn't that a major? No, that's kind of a sneaky one. MAJ7 is a fancy type of 7. So that turns into C major. I can do that. You were the word at the beginning. Right? Pretty easy. And it still sounds right, so you know we're on the right track. We have another MAJ7. Delete. We have another one over here, an F, MAJ7. Delete. All right, and so we end up with C, 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 F. Let's check it out. You were the word at the beginning, one with God. Okay, so you can see it is still working. Okay, it just doesn't sound as fancy. Now, this one is tricky. We have AM7. Now, remember I said if you have a major chord, minor chord, diminished, or augmented, you must keep that. We don't want to delete the little M there, because if we have AM, which is A minor, if we get rid of the M, it's going to turn it into a major chord, so it's going to change your potato. You don't want to do that. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to cross out the 7, but we're going to keep A minor. That's very important. We don't want to delete that. Okay, one with God, the A minor, Lord most. Perfect. Okay, now what have we got here? We have a G sus. We have a G, we have G sharp diminished. All right, and so G sus, okay, sus is not major, minor, diminished, or augmented, but the G is. So we're going to get rid of our sus and just change it to G. All right, so that sus is just a little adding at the end. G major stays the same. Now look at this one. G sharp diminished. So we must keep the diminished. So it looks a little scary, so we'll talk about it. But we don't want to delete it or change it to a G sharp or change it to a G, because that is the potato. Diminished is the type of chord it is, okay, the triad. All right, let's go through some more. Just give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So we have a 7. We can delete that. And then again, we have that same pattern. We can get rid of the sus. And then we have an MAJ7. We can get rid of that. All right, and now look at this one. Okay, we have C MAJ7 / E. Now, slash chords, that just means your right hand's playing one thing, your left hand is not playing the root. So C with E on the left hand, okay? But let's take a look at it. We can get rid of the slash if we want to. So we could get rid of that E, because really it's just changing the bass note. And then we have an MAJ7 here, which keeps a C major chord. So we can delete all of that. So look how much simpler that gets. Excuse me. And then we can get rid of our 7. And we can get rid of our sus. So let's try that verse again. Nice and steady. Getting rid of all of the 7s and all of the fancy stuff. So here we go. You were the word at the beginning. One with God, the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory now, this G sharp diminished, okay? I know a lot of you only know major and minor chords, and you're like, I can't do that diminished, or it's just too much, okay? I'll give you two options when you see diminished or augmented. Major and minors, you got to do it. You got to figure it out, okay? You can't delete those. You're going to have to keep those ones. But diminished and augmented, usually they're used as like an extra anyway. They're not going to change the song generally if you delete them. So you have an option. You can either learn it, which diminished chords are just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's C diminished. G sharp diminished, find your G sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now you know diminished chords, just 3 and 3. So you can do that, or generally you can delete them. Okay, so diminished chords are used as color or passing chords. Passing chords are great, I love them. But if you're a beginner, it might be too much, so you can just cross it out. And what you can do is just play another beat of what you had before it. So just change it to a slash. So we're not changing it to, a major or a minor or anything like that. We're just deleting it, and we're just going to play an extra, in this case, a G, which was right before it. We're going to play an extra one of those instead, and it will sound just fine. Okay? So hopefully this is making sense. You can make any comments down below if there's something you want me to go over some more. But let's go over to the chorus. Let's take a look what we have here. Let me see if I can make this, a little bigger, so that we can get that other side. There we go. Okay, so we have a F over G, so we can do a slash chord, the F on the right hand, G on the left hand. That's not too scary. If it is too scary, just play the right hand. Just play the F, okay? And then you're going to go, we see C sus2. So we don't have a minor. It's not C minor. It's not C diminished. It's not C augmented. So we're just going to get rid of that. Okay, we're just going to make it a C. And then we have a G sus again. Okay, so we're just going to make that a G as well. And then we've got G sharp diminished. Okay, I'll circle that one because we can't change it, but we could delete it if we want. A minor 7, so keep the minor. Delete the 7. You can't get rid of that M. You really need that. Okay, and then we've got a G sus. We can change that. And let's see here. G, F, that's all good. F over G, good. C sus, we'll get rid of the sus. G sus, we'll get rid of that. So you can see I'm just looking at each one individually. There's no special trick. G sharp diminished, I'll circle it in case we want to delete it. A minor 7, just to keep it to A minor. And G sus. Okay, so remember, when you get to the G sharp diminished, you have an option. You can either try it, just count to 3, or just, oops, it's not letting me draw here. Just do an extra slash. I can't draw it close, so I'll just draw it right there. An extra slash like that. Okay, so you either play it or just delete it completely and play, in this case, an extra G. So here we go. What a beautiful name it is, C. What a beautiful name it is, regular G. The name of, I just played it as a G. Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is, regular C. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is, the name of Jesus. All right, so that's the idea. Potato theory, if you want to call it that. But basically, you want to make sure you always keep your 3-note chord the same. If it's a major, keep it a major. If it's a minor, keep it a minor. If it's diminished, keep it diminished. If it's augmented, keep it augmented. And other than that, you can pretty much delete everything after that. So a lot of my students have said, well, I have a 7 in it, so I just can't play it. No, just pretend there's no 7. When I first started playing chords, I just ignored all the numbers. So if it had C, 9, sharp 5, flat, whatever, 11, I just pretended there was no numbers. I just would play the letters, and that works just fine. And now that I've learned a lot more about theory and gospel music, I understand why, right? Those are just extra sprinkles on top. So if you'd like a copy of this over on the gospelmethod.com, we do have free handouts with easy to learn songs.